Episode 72, Children of the Forest. Zeke Yeager explains the circumstances of how he used his spinal fluid to transform the villagers of Ragako into titans 4 years ago to Levi Ackerman. He says he did not want to do it, but it was necessary to prevent Marley from discovering his allegiance to Eldia. Levi is still distrustful of him, though, because Zeke does not appear to feel guilty about it. Changing the subject, Zeke asks when he and Aaron will begin their test of the rumbling, and Levi tells him it is up to headquarters. A soldier then interrupts to provide news of Zachary's death. Levi learns that the Jaegerists have taken control of the walls, and that the military suspects it is part of a plan Zeke put together, with help from Yelena and Aaron. Levi thinks back over all the times he saved Aaron, and how many comrades he lost because he believed Aaron was the hope for humanity. He is unhappy with where his beliefs have led him. Meanwhile, the children of the Browse family marvel at the fancy restaurant they find themselves in. Gabi Brown and Falco Grice look around nervously, which does not go unnoticed by Artur Browse. Niccolo welcomes the family and leads them to their table, while Kaya points him out to Gabi and Falco as the Marleyan who invited them. She explains how Niccolo wanted to treat Artur to the food his daughter loved, and that Niccolo was probably in love with her. As Niccolo works to prepare their food, he is interrupted by Grays, who says the scout regiment wants to see him. When he goes to tell them that he is busy with customers, Hanji says they can talk once he is done. Onyankopon explains that the scouts are investigating the anti-Marleyan volunteers' detainment and are hoping Niccolo can help. He shows them to a room where they can wait, and Connie Springer speculates that it is normally reserved for the military police. Jean Kirstein picks up a bottle, wondering if it is the wine the soldiers have been talking about. He discusses sharing a sip with Connie when Niccolo charges over and snatches the bottle from him. Jean tries to calm him down, saying that he and Connie did not mean it. Upset, Niccolo tells them that it would be wasted on Eldians. Jean is disappointed by Niccolo's racist remark, but Niccolo does not apologize and leaves, taking the bottle with him. Seeing Niccolo return, Gabi prompts Falco to fake a stomachache. He leaves the table under the pretense of needing to use the restroom, and Gabi goes with him, saying that she will help him. They follow Niccolo into the restaurant's cellar and tell him that they are warrior candidates from Marley. The two of them ended up on Paradis because they boarded an airship during the raid on Liberio. Horrified, Niccolo asks if they killed a female soldier. Falco recognizes the significance of the question, but before he can stop her, Gabi excitedly tells Niccolo that she did. Realizing Sasha's killer is in front of him, Niccolo grabs the bottle of wine and attacks her. Falco pushes her out of the way and the bottle shatters over his head. Shaken, Gabi tries to rouse him, but Falco does not respond. Niccolo punches her and carries the two back to the dining room where the Browse family is. He throws Gabi to the floor and tells Artur that she is the one who killed Sasha. Niccolo offers him a knife and says that if Artur cannot kill Gabi, he will. Just then, Armin Arlelt enters the room, and uncertain of what is going on, he calls for the rest of the scouts. When they arrive, Jean recognizes Gabi and asks Niccolo what is going on. Niccolo tells him to stay away and that he is avenging Sasha. He holds his knife to Falco's throat, using him as a hostage. Gabi asks Niccolo to stop, and he turns on her, asking what Falco means to her and explaining that he had someone he cared about too. He pours out his feelings for Sasha, ending with the fact that Gabi took her from him. Gabi shouts back that Sasha killed people she cared about first, but Niccolo does not care who started it. Artur quietly interrupts and asks for Niccolo's knife. He gives it, and Artur begins to explain how Sasha grew up a hunter. Artur knew that eventually that way of life would end for them, so he sent her out into the world where she became a soldier, shot people, and got herself shot. Though she left the forest, the world is simply a bigger forest where everyone is still fighting for their lives. He hands the knife to his wife, who puts it on the table, and tells Niccolo that he believes Sasha died because she wandered in the forest too long. Adults need to keep children out of the forest, and it is up them to shoulder the sins of the past. Seeing that Arthur is getting through to him, Lisa asks Niccolo to put Falco down, and she and her husband look after him while Jean and Connie restrain Niccolo. Arthur also asks Gabi if she is okay, and she is shocked that he does not hate her. Kaya, however, sprints around the table, grabbing the knife, and aims it at Gabi. Mikasa Ackerman stops her before the blow can land. Kaya shrieks, calling Gabi a murderer and saying how she thought she was a friend, as Arthur and Lisa pull her away. Mikasa and Armin take Gabi out of the room. Now that the danger is over, Niccolo tells Hong to rinse out Falco's mouth because some of the wine got in it. He thinks it has Zeke's spinal fluid. When Jean forcefully presses him for information, Niccolo admits he does not have proof, but the first Marleyan scout fleet was packed to the brim with that wine, more than any mission would have needed. As a Marleyan soldier, he is familiar with the power of Zeke's spinal fluid. When he got his job at the restaurant, he was told by Yelena to serve that wine to high-ranking officers. As far as he knows, Yelena is the only volunteer in on it. John concludes that the reason Niccolo grabbed the wine earlier was to protect the scouts from drinking it, but Niccolo himself is not certain. His feelings are mixed up. He does not think he can be as forgiving as Arthur, and wonders what was wrong with him to contemplate killing a child. In another room, Gabi asks Mikasa why she protected her when she killed their comrade and attacked a guard. Mikasa says she has no reason. Gabi asks them to kill her instead of Falco, but Armin says they do not plan to. Disbelieving, Gabi insists that they want to, and Armin quietly refutes her, noticing that killing is all Gabi thinks about, and compares her to someone he knows. Eren then walks up to the table and holds up his hand to show that it is bleeding. In another part of the restaurant, Hanga and John are bathing Falco, trying to clean the wine off of him, when they hear Onyankopon cry out. They return to the dining room to see Floch Forster holding a gun at Onyankopon. Several Jaegerists point rifles at the scouts. Floch says he will have Hanga take them to Zeke. When Hanga says they have no intention of fighting with them, Floch says they will not negotiate with the military. Eren knows that Dot Pixis will not give them control of the island, and is probably already plotting to take the Founding Titan from Eren. Jean wonders how the Jaegerists knew they were here, and Niccolo sees Graze among them. Graze says Niccolo is too obsessed with Eldians, which is why he never told him how to reach the Jaegerists. Hanji tries to get Floch to stand down by explaining that Zeke's spinal fluid is being spread through the military as part of a plan. But Floch does not care, saying that it will just make the MPs bigger idiots. Having never said anything about MPs drinking it, Hang realizes that Floch is in on the plan. Floch knocks on the closed door to the room where Eren is, and says he and the others are going ahead. Eren sits at the table with Armin, Mikasa, and Gabi, and says that he wants to talk.